Live breaking news. Holy macadamia nut, y'all. I mean, Fani Cash Money G. Willis, after being completely officially removed from the Trump RICO case in Georgia, is now in full, complete desperation mode, begging to be placed back on the case in a new filing with the Supreme Court of the state of Georgia. I'm going to share with you some clips of a press conference that happened today, exclusive. You don't want to miss this. This is out of this world. Vintage Fani Willis. Watch this. Okay, I've got a couple amazing clips to share with you. In this first clip, here is Cash Money G. Fani Willis talking about declining crime rates in Atlanta. Check this out.
Morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning. It's not a Happy New Year for you.
I am here to thank Mayor Dickens this morning. Your appointment of Chief Shearbaum, I have told you over and over again, it has been one of the greatest things you've done during your administration because he has been an amazing partner with the District Attorney's Office. But I also want to recognize Chief Operating Officer LaShondra Burks and Teresa Austin Gibbons, who directs the Mayor's Youth Summer Employment Program. Those things are important because you and I have had discussions many times that it is not just about locking up the bad guys, but making sure that our children have opportunities. I am especially excited this morning that you have brought the great director, Gary Davis, here of Next Level Boys Academy. Me and him have history. We go back to my days as an assistant district attorney, and in fact, I can remember the time that he came into my office asking that a young man who was charged with armed robbery be given a second opportunity. And if he was given that opportunity, watch through the work of his program, him change that young man's life around. And so we took a chance on one young man, and over the years, that has now become in excess of 1,000 young men doing the right thing, not the wrong thing. And so to have him here today is a very important gesture. It really is a great program that gives our children great opportunity. The statistics that you're hearing about today, I don't want you to get lost. You're journalists and people get caught up in the numbers. Those are lives saved. Last year we lost 44 less people than the year before. That's 44 less mamas that had to bury their children. We should never lose sight of what these crime reductions mean. It's hundreds of less people that were victimized, on the other side of a gun or violence of some kind, taking their property. These are actual human beings that now are not facing trauma that they have to deal with for the rest of their lives. And this because of the initiatives of you, Chief Shearbaum, and certainly you, Mayor, by appointing this great man in this great office. But we've done it in a very strategic way. The first thing that we used in strategy was just working together. That seemed something pretty simplistic, right? The District Attorney's Office, community organizations, and the police department working together. But not very many years ago, those things were in complete dysfunction. And so I enjoy this friendship now to solve crime and to make our safer city. What you need to understand is over the past year, we have charged over 300 gang members. That effort has been a multiplier because we are removing the worst repeat offenders from our community. And we've done that in combination with the City of Atlanta Police Department by making sure that the officers are better trained, by making sure the attorneys are better trained. We've also worked with the Atlanta Police Foundation to invigorate our tracking unit to make sure that our judges know who the repeat offenders are, because no one should get the idea that all young men are bad or all young men of color are bad. What we find when we look at the statistics is it's the same people committing crime over and over again. And if we can remove this very small segment for our society, the rest of the community can thrive by having programs like Gary Davis's Next Level Boys Academy. We also, not just taking a tough stance on gang members and looking at repeat offenders, but my office has done something, which has created the first ever pre-indictment diversion program so that those in our community that make small mistakes are not derailed for the rest of their lives, but in fact can get back on their feet and become productive members of society. Also, the REACH program run through the Fulton County DA's office shows children that gang members shouldn't be your heroes. Your heroes need to be people in the press, people that are in law enforcement, bankers, and great community leaders. Those are the people that we need you to look up to, and those are the people that you can actually become. But I have to mention today to you that while we are on a great trajectory to do more great things, the district attorney's office sits very concerned. And I would urge people, while I have this audience, to call your county commissioners while they are voting on their budget to make sure that law enforcement gets the dollars they need to do this work. Because the reality is, if the district attorney's office does not have the right amount of attorneys, the right amount of investigators, we cannot continue to excel and to make progress for our city. We cannot continue to enjoy a safe city. And so it requires not just a great partnership with the mayor and the City of Atlanta Police Department, but we need a partnership to begin with the Fulton County Commissioners. Thank you.
Wait. Hold up, Cash Money G. So you mean to tell me that you don't have enough money in your budget to go after the criminals? That all the money that they've sent you hasn't been allocated in the right areas? You've been sent millions and millions of dollars by not only the state, but by federal government, which is why Jim Jordan's investigating you with all the federal grant money that Amanda Timpson, the whistleblower who was on our show, blew the whistle on, saying that you used federal grant money. It's funny how she doesn't talk about that. It's funny how she says, you know, we're not getting enough money. Even though I paid my lover boy, American Pie Wade, almost $1 million to do a job he's not even qualified to do. That he even admitted in the Senate committee deposition, he even admitted he had to look up RICO case law and study it. But yet he got paid $1 million by Cash Money G, while Fulton County residents got the stiff arm. So you mean to tell me that all that money, all those backlogs of cases, you still want more? All that money you spent on laptops, MacBooks, new ridiculous office supplies, etc., hundreds of thousands of dollars, you still need more? Interesting, isn't it? Check out this next clip. I can't wait to get your thoughts on that. Check out this next clip right here. It's funny too. Why is she so angry? Is it just me or is she always angry? The level of unprofessionalism just oozes out of her. Check out this next clip. Watch this. Okay, here is Cash Money G talking about the jail system in Fulton County.
Yes, I had a question. This might be for DA Willis or anyone up there, but arrest, prosecution, one thing, right? Conviction is another, as we've seen in previous criminal trials, including gang trials. So what do you tell people still fearful that while we are seeing a reduction in crime, maybe in their neighborhood or their backyard, crime is not done away with altogether?
Okay, so the question is, I know it was kind of hard to hear. The reporter asked, what do you say to the Fulton County residents, even though you state these statistics that crime is reduced, which is definitely inaccurate. I have so many Fulton County residents email me, DM me, whatever, tag me on X, Twitter, and say this is the exact opposite. Even people who will remain anonymous, who I know sources inside her actual DA's office, who essentially just confirmed she's a complete sham and a lion-ass degenerate. Give me a capital LAD in the comments down below. So the reporter asked, even though the statistics are down, what do you have to say about crime overall? That it's not, it still continues to be an issue. Watch this.
Crime is not done away with altogether. I think that's a true statement and probably a realistic statement for life. But the reality is, because the cases are better, when you hear the mayor talk about getting the cameras, not only from the cameras the city has provided, but getting the cameras from what the neighbors have provided, it makes for better prosecutions. The fact that the officers are now trained on how to put together a gang case, it makes for better prosecutions. We are at about a 90% conviction rate across different types of crimes. That's homicides, that's sexual assaults, which is really unheard of in the country. But we can't take the credit. We like to take the credit as a DA's office all by ourselves, but the reason we're able to do that is because we're requiring better cases from the start. And this chief, I just can't say enough good things about him.
Like the YSL case?
A lot of people operate in ego, and they operate in not wanting to get better and not wanting
Like
to
you?
get more advanced, but he is someone that has asked, okay, if our officers
Just
aren't
like
doing
you,
a good
Cash
job,
Money
can
G.
you bring us in for training? Can we see how to do it? Can we implement new policies, new rules? One of the areas that we're both frustrated in, and we've talked about, are domestic violence cases. So early on last year, we talked about a new method for tickets and the way that officers could record information so we could have better prosecutions in our domestic violence cases. It really is a group project, and us listening to each other of how do we get better for the community to keep us safer. So I think the community should take a lot of pride in the fact that, you hear all over the country crime is down, right? Not like in Atlanta. Here it's down in the double digits. In other cities, you're talking about 3, 4, 5%.
Where are we
We're talking
hearing
about
this crime
19,
is
22,
down? As a matter of fact, it's
26%.
skyrocketing.
And I think the community can feel that things are getting better, but they're far from perfect. I think that we would all agree that they are far from perfect. These youth initiatives, that is not just
Youth?
talk.
What's a
it's
youth?
funny that we sit in zone 3. I cannot tell you as a murder prosecutor how many cases I came and tried right out of Newtown Circle, which is up the street, or Thomasville, or violent crimes, maybe not a homicide, but someone being shot. I'm very familiar with where I stand because of my 20-year history, but our youth are hungry for opportunities. And so I think that this is an opportunity for the community to try to get involved, to give our youth opportunities. When we started the REACH program 3 years ago, we had 140 students. That's all that enrolled over the Fulton County public school system. We're now over 500. We can't keep up with the capacity or the demand for them to have other opportunities. And so we definitely need these budgets financed in a proper way so that we can provide them with opportunities. But we need the community and nonprofits like Gary Davis' program and other programs involved, and he needs to be funded so he can do the work, so we can help our youth, because they do want to do other things, and they are so capable of putting us all out of our jobs if we just show them the way.
One quick note before I show this other clip is the youth outreach program that she's talking about, that the youth have so many opportunities. That's the same exact federally funded program that the whistleblower in Fani Willis's office blew the whistle on, that she was misappropriating grant money to buy all those things in the office, to pay Nathan Wade, to go on vacations, Jamaica, Aruba. Ooh, I'm going to take you. That's the same exact program that Jim Jordan subpoenaed her, which she defied the subpoena because, of course, she has nothing to hide. She's Miss Transparency. I got nothing to hide. I didn't do anything wrong, but she defies every subpoena. She defies Bill Cowsert in the Georgia Senate Committee, Jim Jordan, the Judiciary Committee in Washington. She defies every subpoena because she's Miss Transparent. Make it make sense. Speaking of the Fulton County Commission, check out this tirade by Cash Money G blasting the Fulton County Commission over Fulton County jails. Watch this.
You're so polite. He's such a Southern gentleman, right? Fulton County leadership, we need the Fulton County Commission to do their job. The reality is the sheriff cannot do his job, nor the district attorney hers, if it is not financed properly. We have known for years, and the sheriff has been begging for years. The jail is falling apart. The prisoners are using pieces of the jail to make shanks to hurt other prisoners. We know that. Atlanta has done their part. They gave us a facility. They've helped us in the way that they can. This is not on the mayor's shoulders. It's not on Atlanta Police Department's shoulders. It sits on Commissioner Rob Pitt's shoulders. And we ought to demand that they have humane conditions. We ought to demand that the DA's office is financed in a way where we can properly prosecute crimes. And citizens ought to call and say, we don't want people to live in these inhumane conditions. And he gave it to you lightly. I've been a district attorney and a defense attorney. The jail is disgusting. If you go in there, people were sleeping in pods. The conditions should not be that way. You have one man manning 50 and 60 inmates. That cannot happen and people be safe. And so at some point, we have to put blame where blame lies. And where it lies is with Chairman Rob Pitts and those 6 commissioners that sit with him. And they have a duty that in 2 weeks, they need to issue a budget for our sheriff and for this district attorney's office that does the job.
God, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Remember Gavin Newsom, all the videos that I showed of him blaming everybody, local authorities, misinformation, the media. It's Trump's fault. It's Karen Bass's fault. Everybody's fault but the guy who actually runs the state. Sounds really familiar, doesn't it? Cash Money G is saying the jails the conditions, everything that has made Fulton County the absolute train wreck that it is, she's pointing the finger at everybody else except for the person who's the actual district attorney. Well, we don't have enough money. I've gone to Aruba. I've gone to Jamaica. I paid my lover boy $1 million to prosecute a case he's not qualified for. I've stolen federal grant money. You're not giving us enough money. So it's time to lay blame where blame lies. It's just unbelievable. And now, after you have been removed by the state, after the Attorney General himself has said she shouldn't even be allowed to appeal and pleads with the Supreme Court of Georgia to say, don't even listen to Fani Willis's appeal. After the American people have spoken, which, by the way, you can get this 100% Patriot Nez Nation merch in the pinned comment, show notes, and description down below. All original, made in the USA. After all that, after a RICO case involving Young Thug and YSL, which was the longest case in Georgia state history, wasting millions upon millions of taxpayer resources, funding, and a whole lot more, gone through 3 judges, and the worst prosecutorial team led by Adrian Love and company in the history of prosecutorial teams. After losing that, after denying real hardworking Fulton County residents their day in court, she now has the audacity to blame the commission, to blame everybody but herself, to blame not being funded, not having enough money, not being able to prosecute cases the way she wants to. Let me give you the translation. She's complaining that she doesn't have the utmost unabashed authority to do whatever she wants, that she even faced a molecule of pushback. She's complaining that people are actually looking at her and saying she's incompetent, which she is. She's complaining about everything except what a normal, well-adjusted human being does. Just like Newsom, just like Biden, just like Kamala, just like all of them, Obama. Instead of pointing the person at numero, the man in the mirror, and saying, you know what? Can I just get a hint of introspection? Just a hint of humility? Not even close. So she's not only a narcissist, she's not only a hypocrite, she's not only incompetent, she's not only unprofessional, she's not only unqualified, she's also a sociopath. I said at the beginning of this video, I truly believe if anybody can get it on record, video or audio of Cash Money G, Fani Willis, apologizing about anything, I would probably faint, because I don't think she ever has. I don't think she ever will. I think she is a natural-born sociopath, and that's the last person we need in a position of power that she has. And I feel for the people of Fulton County and Atlanta and the state of Georgia and the country. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think she's going to actually win this appeal? Do you think she deserves this? Do you think she should be disbarred like I do? I think she should be disbarred. I don't think she belongs anywhere near a courtroom. Do you think she should resign? Let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. Check out these videos right here. If you haven't seen these videos we just posted, they're amazing. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. Sign up for our free newsletter. That's also in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.